Okay, so what we're going to do here, this is the first of a series of 4 recordings, one for each one of the hands-on exercises that you're going to do in the book. Each one of these recordings will cover the skills that the hands-on exercise relates to, uses, or needs. Alright? So the first thing we're going to do is, I have Excel open here, but if you were needing to open Excel, you would click on your Start, and it's probably down in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. And then you would come here to All Programs, and you would come down here to Microsoft Office, and then click on Microsoft Excel 2010. Okay? But since I already have it open, we're not worried about that. Now, with Excel, you have what's called a spreadsheet. This is basically a sheet that's divided into columns and rows. The columns are lettered, the rows are numbered. You refer to the cells by the column letter and the row number. So for example, where I am right now, which is the active cell, that's A1, and you'll see that A1 is right here. So if I came over here and I clicked over here, now the active cell is G9, and that is reflected in the box up here. Okay, so we're going to start here in cell A1, and what we're going to do, and the best way to start with working with spreadsheets, is to work with putting all of your stuff in first, and then go back and format it. So we're going to type in all of our information first. So Sundown Services. Okay, now I've typed it in. I got to put the S on there. And then to move down a row, I'm going to hit the Enter key. And this is the cost, profit, whoops, can't spell today. Profit worksheet per week for Riverside Park. Okay. All spreadsheets need to have identifying information on it. In this case, it gives the name of the company, what the sheet is, and the location, because this is for this particular location of this company. Now, in addition to that, we're going to come down 2 rows. Now, to move down a row without entering anything, you can hit the Enter key, or you can press the down arrow key. Okay, so now what I have, I'm going to enter the column headings. Your columns will always have a heading. Just having a bunch of numbers in there doesn't do anything. So your columns are always going to have a heading. So I want to enter the data across the row, and I'm going to enter data all the way over to row G. Well, the problem is, if I want to enter it coming down, I just hit the Enter key. There's no real efficient way to do that unless you highlight your row. So I'm going to click in A6, hold the left mouse key down, and move over to G6. Now notice what I've done there. I had the whole row highlighted. Now when I work, and I'm going to type in client, and I'm going to type in package, when I hit the Enter key like I just did, I go sideways. So the default for the Enter key is to come down, but if you want to go sideways, highlight, and it will automatically go sideways for you. You can also use the right arrow key to move sideways. If you do that, which is what I just did, you'll lose your highlighting. We're not worried about the fact that this said charge/WK, because that means the fact that it doesn't show simply means the column isn't wide enough, and we're going to fix that later. Alright, so we've entered all of those in. Now, we have the basic spreadsheet information and we have the column information. Now we have to put in identifying information for each individual row that we're going to be working with. This is the data that we're tracking, and over here in the client area is where we're going to put the client's names. Andy Smith Jewelers, Dyer Chevrolet, Hanceville. Now, Dyer, boy, fingers are not working tonight. Dyer Chevrolet. Now notice it tries to put in Hanceville, but that's not what we want. We have another one. This one's going to be Midtime. So we're going to have to type it in. I'm sorry. This is what happens when you start making recordings. You have to talk and type at the same time, so my fingers don't always want to do that. Dyer Chevrolet Midtime. Sulligent, I guess. And we have one last one that we're going to put in, and that is Med Surg Outpatient. Okay? Okay, now, I've obviously misspelled patient. What I'm going to do here is press F2. F2 opens this in edit mode. So now I can use the left arrow to come back over here and press A, and now I've fixed my mistake. Okay? Alright. So yeah, you know, I can't type anything. I'm all the way over here, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to type the packages in. P122, P140, P140, P122, and P115. Now notice, as soon as I type something into this column, the overflow data from this column is hidden. But that's okay. Again, like I said, we're going to fix that. Alright, so we have standard charges for these packages. So the charge per week is our standard charge, and we're not going to worry about formatting right now. So we're going to type in 400, 1050, oops, and press the enter key. 1050. Remember, when we want to move down the column, we just hit the enter key after every time we type something. 355 and 1150. Okay, so that's all we need. Right. Now, the rest of these columns will be calculated using a formula. The one thing you cannot do in Excel is simply type numbers in. One of the reasons for using Excel is that we type the data in, the basic data in, and then we use calculations, we use formulas so that we can manipulate the data and make decisions based on it. So, but this is all of the numbers that we're going to basically need. So now what I'm going to do, I've made significant changes to this worksheet. Before I try to do anything else, I'm going to save it. So I'm going to click Save, and that's the button up there. Now, I would suggest that you have a folder, which I do, on my removable drive, and that folder should be named Excel. Now, mine is a little bit buried a little bit further simply because I have a whole bunch of other stuff on here. And if I come down here to Summer, here's Summer, and here's my 170 class. Okay, so now I'll just simply click up here, add a new folder, and call it Excel. That way I'll know where everything is. All right. I want to change the name of this workbook. Sundown Services Solution. So I know what it is I'm working with. Your hands-on exercises give you very specific names at the end of or at the beginning of each exercise. You need to make sure you use those names, because when we go to grade this, this is how we figure out if you've turned everything in or not. So now we're going to hit save. This is now saved on our hard drive. Remember, until it is saved on the hard drive, we can't do anything with it. All right? If the computer dies, it will go away. So it's only exists in memory until we physically save it. All right, so one of the things I'm going to do, we're going to see how do we clear something. So I want the date on here. So I'm going to click in cell A4, and I'm going to type in 05 30 2013. I'm going to hit enter. Okay, and it's going to stay that way. Now, that's not the format I want though. So I'm going to click there, and I'm going to hit clear and clear all. That takes everything away. I could also have hit the delete key. Instead, what I want is May I'm sorry, May, what did I say, 30th? 2013. Okay, now that's not formatted as a number. That's just in there as a date. Okay, so let's go back. Here we're going to hit the delete key to delete it. So let's go back to this. I'm sorry, 05/30/2013. Okay. And we want to enter it in, but we don't want to move out of that cell. And to do that, you simply hit the check mark. All right, so now I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to hit this down arrow. I'm on the number format, and I'm going to hit the down arrow here. All right. And what I want, let's say I want the long date. All right. So I'm going to click here, and that will put the formatted date in there for me. Okay? Now there's other ways to change it, but that just simply is the way we're going to do it. Your book may say something about it's going to show up as 30 May 2013 or something like that, and that is true if that is the default for your Excel sheet. If it does not, don't worry about it. You can always change it later. All right? Okay, so this is the end of hands-on exercise 1. Right? So now I'm going to change the name of this because I want to know that it's hands-on exercise 1. So if I want to change the name or the location of the file, I click File and Save As. Right? So what I want to say here is HO1. 01, hands-on exercise 1, and click save. Okay. So this is the end of this video. We'll pick up with hands-on exercise 2 in a minute.